Welcome back, David Icke, Dot Connector. We'll get straight into it, David. We were talking just before the break there about the fact that, surprisingly to some, the public revolted against the idea of going to war with Syria.
Yeah, and this is why the People's Voice is in existence, and it's why the alternative media in its existence is to fill that massive void that the mainstream media won't fill, which is actually the backstory of world events rather than the in-your-face, this is happening because the government says so. You see, there's something I've been talking about for years, repeaters. What society has become in terms of its official spokespeople in journalism, whether they're journalists, whether it's government officials or whatever, they're repeaters. What they do is they take the official version. This is how problem reaction solution works. They take the official version and they repeat it, and they call it journalism. Now, problem reaction solution would never work if we had real journalism, if the People's Voice version of journalism was widespread, because as soon as the government or whatever authority it is says this is what's happened and this is why it's happened, this is who's to blame, a real journalistic community would say, okay, let's have a look at this. Let's investigate this. Let's see if this version of events from the authorities actually stands up. And they'd find that it doesn't. Invariably, almost every time doesn't stand up. So instead of the official version going to the public undiluted to get the reaction of do something, okay, we'll do what we're always going to do, yeah. Instead of that, another version would go to the public through the journalists, real journalists, which is they're lying to you. This is not true. Look, here's the evidence, right? So this is another area of great importance. It's not only people in uniform that are bringing this society, this Hunger Games society, into existence by enforcing the laws that the few are deciding. It's also journalists. You know, I say to them, you know, people all over the world, journalists who allege to be journalists, you are, by your omission of the truth, by your lack of true journalism, you are making a fundamental contribution to the enslavement of yourself, your children, and your grandchildren. And you better start understanding that, because one day you're going to have to look your children in the eye and that when they ask you, what were you doing, Daddy and Mummy, when it was coming in? You were a journalist, weren't you? Oh, I was writing about a celebrity getting a divorce. All right, okay, all right. That's great. So this is vital. This is why the People's Voice exists. But there's another agenda here which explains a great deal, and this is a real stretch, Richie, for most people. It really is, although the documents exist to show that this is the case. There is a massive, massive agenda for a fundamental cull of the human population. From the point of view of this spider, the human population is too big and they want it smaller so it's more easily controllable. And it's not that people are just going to drop over in masses, you know, in the same moment. It's cumulative. And this is why we have genetically modified food, which is genetically modifying us. This is why we have poison in the water, like fluoride and other stuff that I'm sure is in there.
Thankfully, it's on the retreat, though, fluoride. Thankfully, it looks to be anyway.
Well, in some parts of the world, you know, in most parts of the world it isn't, but in some part of the world it is, and this is more encouragement, where this massive effort to get this information circulating has reached the point where it is starting. It is starting. Humanity is kind of starting to come out of its slumber, out of its mind-controlled state, because that's what it's been in. And it's starting to see what it couldn't see before, and therefore it is very, very, very encouraging. And this is why, or one reason why, there are others, why the atmosphere is being so irradiated. And when they're selling you something that is designed to harm you, then they have to give you a benefit. So they'll give you a mobile phone. And you can now call anybody. Oh, it's great, you can call anyone anytime. You know, and it's like one of those again. Deep breath, take a look at it again. That is working on microwave frequencies. Your brain is here, your ear is next to it. And you're going to put a microwave technology next to your ear for endless amounts of time a day. Now, how about we get a microwave oven and you hold it to your ear, right? For hold it to your ear for even 20 minutes. What do you think? Oh no, that'd be yes. Give us a call, because that's what you're doing, right? And why would they pick one of the most dangerous parts of the electromagnetic spectrum to communicate through technology that people are putting to their ears? And that's all part of the control system as well, because anything that has smart in front of it is part of this surveillance control system. Smartphones, smart TVs, which can actually see.
We saw that this week, didn't
exactly.
we? Yeah.
That's Orwell's telescreens. Smart meters. What are smart meters doing? They are creating. People are saying, well, this Wi-Fi, it seems it's dangerous. Yeah. What is a smart meter? It is creating yet another, in effect, Wi-Fi radiation field in your home. And not only is it sending back information from your home, it's actually sending stuff the other way on in the frequency band of human brainwave activity, so that it can actually implant information into your head, which you then think is your own thoughts and your own perceptions. This is not far-fetched. The thing is that when you see the world in that kind of span of possibility, because of all the stuff you've not been told, then some of these things I'm talking about out here can be fantastic. Oh, that's not possible. No, it's your perception of it not being possible. That's all it is. It actually is very possible. Not only that is happening. And so you have vaccinations. What is that doing?
We all did.
That is purely destroying the human immune system at the very time it is in the process of being formed. Okay, you're an immune system. You're just getting going. You've just been born. You just, oh God, here, let's get
Some
go.
pretty sharp moves there,
And suddenly, yeah, it is. And suddenly, boom! This tidal wave of toxin comes and smacks you. What is it now? 30-odd vaccinations before the age of 18 months, 2
we were
years?
supposed to get mumps, measles and rubella. You're supposed to get them, no?
Well,
aren't babies supposed to get these things and then get rid of them naturally?
Well, that was the idea. That was kicking the immune system into development and strength. Yes, but the thing is that what vaccines are doing are destroying the immune system. The immune system will never be the same again when its very point of formation, it is hit by a tidal wave of toxins. And there's more and more excuses for it all the time. Well, we've got a vaccine for this, we've got a vaccine for that, vaccine for the other. Just invent diseases like attention deficit disorder so that they can give pills to young kids to change their bloody mind,
Stop acting like a child.
Yeah. So it's it's all connected. All the ways that our children are being drugged. The education system is simply there to program children to be good slaves on the other end, and that is becoming more and more blatant. And the idea is for the education system, and my goodness are we seeing this now, the school to be the parent, the state to be the parent. More and more parental rights are being taken away, and more rules and powers are being given to schools, not only over children when they're at school, which is most of the time, these prisons they call schools, these places of captivity, but actually more and more it's impacting on the time they're not at school. And so when you look at world events, you are looking at this agenda unfolding. Now, don't start me. Climate change. Climate change is one of the most monumental, blatant lies. You remember when temperature started to go up because of the sun cycle, you notice that they never mention the sun when they're talking about temperatures. Do you think the sun might have an effect on temperature? What do you think? Oh, I don't know. Well, I've never thought about that one. No, my computer program tells me it's so-and-so, it's CO2. Right, yeah, so rubbish in, rubbish out, computer programs, you get that?
Yeah.
The idea of the sun is not fundamental to the temperature is insane. Of course it is. Anyway, what they've done is when the temperatures were going up, oh, it's global warming. And then there's Al Gore. He's wheeled out to be the front man. He's got a carbon footprint the size of Godzilla. He has, and it starts.
Well, he would, wouldn't he, with limousines and planes and everything else. Yeah.
And anyway, he comes out as the front man, and global warming, and then suddenly the temperatures weren't playing ball. They stopped, and they started to go down a bit, and now they've held steady since 1997. We're in 2013. Global warming. So what did they do? They changed it to climate change. Well, global warming won't stand up because climate change, good one. And what they're doing is they're justifying, this is where the green movement has been caught on the line, hook, line and bloody sinker, buying this nonsense for various reasons. Because the idea is to use the lie of climate change and saving the planet to transform human society, to deindustrialize human society and to transform it. And if you see the maps, they're in my books, you can get them on the internet, of America under something called Agenda 21, which is a global thing. Most people never have heard of it.
No, they won't.
But you start looking, there, yeah. It's everywhere. You know, I live on a little island called the Isle of Wight, right? It's part of Agenda 21, as all these other communities are around the world. Agenda 21, it's basically the Orwellian state. One of the things about Agenda 21, which it calls for, is, first of all, it's part of this whole population cult. It's to move people off the land into very, very densely populated high-rise accommodation with incredibly small living space. They're already, Mayor Bloomberg announced 165,000 units in New York when he was mayor, which absolutely are straight out of Agenda 21, because they're so tiny, it's almost laughable.
They do it in Japan, don't they?
Yeah, but
already.
Yeah, but they're bringing it all around the world, this Agenda 21. And therefore, if you want to get people into densely populated regions of what they call basically human settlement zones in great Orwellian fashion, you've got to get them off the land. You've got to get them away from the land. So in America, for instance, the Environmental Protection Agency, which is actually a tyranny, they go around with guns and looking like the military. They are introducing more and more laws to make it impossible for small farmers and family farmers and privately owned farmers to survive. It's happening in this country. Just as small business is being constantly targeted with red tape and bureaucracy to make it and taxation to make it impossible for them to survive, because the idea is all the corporations run all that stuff. There's no small business in the Hunger Games society they want. And so the family farms, which were the bedrock of America at one time, they're being forced off the land where? Into the cities, and the corporations are taking over the land. Also, fracking. What's fracking doing? It's making it impossible to live in many parts of the world, of the land, if you like, the countryside, the farming land and stuff like that, because you need water. And what they're doing is, through fracking, is that they are polluting the water supply with something like 600 chemicals which go into the water for the fracking process to happen. And it's never usable again because of all the chemicals, and then that chemically infested water gets into the drinking water supplies, and suddenly you can't live in that area anymore. They're forcing people off the land. There's so many ways that they're doing this around the world, which I go into in the books. But that is like an overview of where the agenda's taken us, the structure that allows it, the techniques of mass manipulation to take us there, and putting into context of things happening in the world which clearly are part of that pattern. And we'll pick up on that as we go through the weeks.
It's really fascinating stuff, David. Thanks for that. That's brilliant. That's it for now. We'll be back next week with more dot connecting with David Icke. Thanks for your company. See you then.